Hello people of the world and welcome to today's episode of Coffee Chats with Jax. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of me coming out as bisexual. It's not the anniversary of me coming out to the world publicly, that doesn't happen for another couple months, but it is the anniversary of me coming out to myself and to another live human being. It's kind of sad how fast this year went by because it was such an important, special year that I think me coming out had a lot more to do with than I realized. I really stepped into myself this year. I feel like I really put my own shoes on and learned a lot about who I am and what makes me me. And not only that, but I got my voice. I learned boundaries. I learned how to say no. I learned what was and what was not okay with me. And I learned how to communicate that. If I didn't want to be touched by somebody, I told them and they listened. And that was really empowering. And I think that me coming out is a lot more about just me stepping into myself as a human being than it is just about my sexuality. And so it's just crazy that 1 year ago today I said those words out loud for the first time. Getting to tell that story, getting to tell my story for the first time ever was probably the most empowering thing that I could have ever done for myself. You see, I've known this to be true about who I am since I was probably about 12 years old, but it was a part of me that I voted off the island. It was a part of me that I thought was dirty and broken and unfixable, and I was ashamed of it. I was internalizing this shame and self-hatred because there was this piece of me that I couldn't run away from quick enough. It kept popping up and I kept thinking it was gone, but then it would pop up here and I would shove it down and I would just hate who I was and I would feel dirty and gross, not worthy of anybody's love. I just felt unlovable. But a year ago today, I invited my full self to the table. And I didn't just invite my full self to the table to be there, but I invited my full self to the table to be celebrated, to be loved. Because I think this part of who I am, I've realized is so incredibly beautiful and important. And it was like the instant I said the words out loud, the instant I felt this new sense of freedom. This thing that I thought made me so dirty and broken and unlovable, it actually gave me life. It actually helped me see in color. There was no tiny little bit of me that ever thought that I would have the courage and the ability to say these things out loud. Like, it just did not seem possible. I felt that about different things throughout my life, but this one specific thing was my secret. This was never something that was going to be real. I wouldn't even let myself write it down. I, for the longest time, didn't want to go to therapy. They would ask me, or they would know, or they would read through me. I was really afraid. When I first started going to church, and there was all this stuff about like prophetic words and people reading your mail, and if you don't know that lingo, please don't worry about it. I was really terrified because I was so afraid that people were gonna see through and know how dirty and broken and disgusting that I was. But I'm not. Those parts of me are actually extremely celebrated, and just the idea of me even telling one person, of me even just knowing in my heart that that doesn't make me broken, that that's actually a beautiful, important, incredible, freeing part about me, even just me knowing that enough, even if I never told another single person, me knowing that, I can't tell you how much I want to celebrate that in itself. I could cry right now. I've gone through so many phases and seasons of my life where I just hated everything about who I was. I thought I was horrible. And so I would ignore myself and I would dumb myself down and I would just try and change and manipulate all this stuff about me to fit into this version of a person that I thought might be lovable by somebody else, but it never was because it was never me. I was a shell. I tried to be extra Christian to get loved. I tried to be the extra rebel child to get loved. I tried to be in these different relationships to get loved when honestly I just needed to learn how to love who I was on my own. I needed to welcome all of me to the table, vote myself back onto the island. And it was terrifying, but I did that. And I don't think that's the end of the story. I think that's the beginning of the story. Life kind of starts now more than ever because I'm all of me and I love all of me, and it's hard to do that every day, but I'm trying. I'm not hiding things about myself. I want to be bold and I want to be unapologetic, and I feel like I've been saying that forever, but I'm actually going to do it now. I've been doing it for a year and it's really incredible. And so 1 year ago today, I made a choice. I made a choice not to just offer fractions of myself to people, but I made a choice to acknowledge who I really am. Yes, that involves my sexuality, but that also involves just knowing that who I am is beautiful and not dirty and not unlovable and not destined for hell to be real. That was a really big deal to me. One terrifying, confusing year later, things are not perfect. Things are messy and imperfect and clumsy, but they're beautiful and they're real and they're authentic, and that is what we want. I have never been more honest with myself or with the people around me than I have been this year, and it's a really incredible feeling. So thank you guys for being a part of this journey with me. Thank you for caring about what I have to say. If you guys are out there and when you have not come out and you want to, there's going to be a day where you feel ready. There's going to be a day where it just does not make sense to hide anymore, where it's more inconvenient to stay in a closet than to let yourself be free. Be patient and know that when you are ready, we are here, and there's a lot of life and freedom and joy and love on the other side. Thank you for watching this. If you want to support me, if you want to get more involved in my journey, then I really want to encourage you to go check out my Patreon page. I'm starting a podcast hopefully in January, where that Patreon page is going to be supporting that, and these videos are going to kind of transition into that. So go to patreon.com/JackieGTV if you want to get involved and support my mission here, or if you want to purchase a copy of my book that I wrote about my life called Finding Home. It's about learning how to feel at home inside my own skin. Like, the first half of the book is this pitfall, this rock bottom, and then the second half is me learning that I was the home I was looking for all along. Spoiler alert, I guess. Anyway, link for that is in the description box below as well. Thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you next week.